Decluttering clothes can be so hard. If you're on that struggle bus too, then I've got some tips for you today. I'm gonna share with you my simple wardrobe experiment, so you can do this yourself and see how it feels. I promise it's such a simple system, and I think it's gonna really get you some results with your clothes and make you feel so much better about your wardrobe. But first, I wanted to mention some of the things that people have said. I asked on my Instagram in a little questions box if you can share with me why you feel like decluttering your clothes is so hard. And I want to address those things because I feel like you watching might be feeling the same way. And I think this can help you kind of reframe your mindset and be in a better spot to be able to actually let go of those items, because it can be so easy to say, oh, just get rid of it, right? It's not hard to declutter. But I feel like the hard part about decluttering is not the physical act of taking an item and getting rid of it. It's the mental, right? It's the mindset that we have behind all of these things and why we have to keep them. So the number one thing that people have said that they struggle with when it comes to letting go of clothes is the waste of money. People have said, you know, it costs so much, it makes me sad to get rid of it now. It took me a long time to come to grips with this as well, but the truth is that money was gone at the time we made the purchase. Now that we're just keeping it in our wardrobe, it's not gonna get our money back, and most of the time for a lot of us, it's actually still costing us our mental health and a lot of stress as well. So yeah, there's not really any point in keeping it in terms of getting your money back, because it's just not going to happen. Number two that people have said is they have guilt, because a lot of the times it can be an item that maybe it's brand new, maybe you bought and you've never worn. It can make you feel really guilty about that. But here's what I have found. I think decluttering is a real wake-up call that's very uncomfortable but very necessary at the same time, because it will change your future shopping habits. And this is what happened to me. So I was keeping all of these items because I felt like I wanted a lot of options, or I just spent all of this money, I don't want to let it go, right? Because then what if I want to buy it again? It is such an emotional thing, and there's a lot of guilt attached to it, of course. But I feel like if we're really realistic with ourselves and we can keep the items that we love and use but let go of anything else, just the sheer fact of me seeing how much stuff I have accumulated, and you know, the like mountain of clothes that I was getting rid of, maybe selling or donating, it literally changed my shopping habits, because I don't go into the shops the same way and just buy whatever because, you know, impulse buy or emotional buying, because I know what my wardrobe used to look like and I don't want to get back to that place. I know how much waste I have created, you know, in terms of my money, and I don't want to do that again. And so that's why I feel like doing this decluttering process is actually going to help you with your shopping in the future and just being more mindful and intentional about the things that we actually buy. And that's going to save you a lot of money in the future. So even though it feels like you're wasting money right now, you actually are not. You already wasted that, you know, long before when you made the purchase. Now what we can do is being realistic and making a change for the future. And that's something I had to learn for myself as well. Another thing somebody said is that I like to have a lot of options. I like all of my clothes, but I can see that I have too many and I don't really wear them all. And that was me too. I had so many items that I thought were cute. I liked what they looked like. Maybe I liked what they looked like in my wardrobe, but I didn't wear them, and I didn't have maybe events or, you know, places to go to where I would wear those items. Maybe it didn't fit quite right, or maybe it didn't make me feel that good. And so I was keeping them, but I wasn't wearing them, so there was no real point. And you feel like it's not going to be a big deal, it's just going to stay in your wardrobe, it's not going to bother you. But the thing is, we most likely will accumulate so much of, you know, items like this that it's going to be a struggle whenever you want to, you know, switch over your wardrobe from summer to winter, or when you're gonna move, or when you just want to clear out your wardrobe. It's gonna take so much effort and so much time that it's simply not worth keeping them. And here's the thing, a lot of us go to our wardrobes, right? We open it up and we have so many items, but we find it a struggle to get dressed. Closet full of clothes but don't have anything to wear, because we feel like we need a lot of options to, you know, be happy and to be content with how we're dressed. But actually having less options makes it so much easier, and having less options but options that you love to wear and that make you feel good, that's actually going to change getting dressed in the morning. Another thing that a lot of people have said is that they want to keep things, or they feel like they have to keep things just in case they want to wear it again, or they might need it in the future. I read that 80% of things that we keep just in case we never end up using again. And obviously it depends on everybody, it depends on the amount of stuff you have, but I do feel like it's true, or at least it was true for me. I had so many items in my wardrobe that I was never using, and I realized a white pair of jeans feels like such a staple. I can't get rid of it, right? But I wasn't using it ever because it just didn't fit my lifestyle, or I just didn't feel very comfortable in them. And so I got rid of them, and I realized that if I do want to wear white jeans again sometime in the future, even if I keep this pair, it's very likely that either it won't fit me in a few years' time, or I just won't like it because maybe it doesn't fit the trend anymore. And I'm not saying you have to keep up on trends, but yeah, our style changes or our preferences. And so keeping that particular item, it's very likely that you're gonna keep it but not end up wearing it anyway. So if you do want a white pair of jeans again, you're probably gonna go and buy another one. And for me, I've also started shopping a lot more on Vinted, which means you can find pretty much anything for a real bargain. And so I don't feel this pressure that I need to keep it because it was a bargain, or because it's, you know, a good staple, even though it's not a staple for me, right? It's not something I wear. And yeah, you can always repurchase pretty much any item on Vinted for a real bargain. A lot of people were also in a similar situation as me, being postpartum, and so they were talking about having a fluctuating weight. The one tip I have for this is to keep all of those items that don't fit you right now stored away from your daily wardrobe. A lot of people said they're struggling to get rid of these because they'll want to wear those again when they're thinner. They feel sad about letting go of that smaller body that they had in the past. I do feel like, especially if you're postpartum and you might change, you know, very in the near future, then I think it's okay to keep those items. And I have kept a few jeans and things. I think I have like 3 or 4 pair of jeans that I have kept. I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna keep them, to be honest. I don't fit into them quite yet. I'm nearly at my pre-pregnancy weight, but probably my body has changed and they just don't fit right anymore. So I'll probably keep them a bit longer and see if I might fit into them. If not, I might let them go. But for now, I'm keeping them stored away, because here's the thing, keeping all of those items in your daily wardrobe, opening up your drawer and seeing all of those jeans that don't fit you yet can actually have a very negative effect on your mental health, even if sometimes you might not realize it, because you see them and kind of subconsciously you will have these thoughts of, oh, I haven't lost that weight yet, or I'm such a failure because I said I would lose it by now and I haven't lost that weight, or, you know, I'm very weak because I said I would work out but I didn't. And so all of those negative thoughts can have such a negative effect on you. So if you do want to keep some items that don't fit you right now, I think that's fine, but keep them stored away. Keep them, you know, in your underbed drawer. That's what I do. Or keep them in a basket or in a, you know, storage bin, whatever sort of storage space you have in your home. Just not in your daily wardrobe where you can see them every day and make you feel bad about yourself. People have also said they struggle to get rid of things because of the prospect of trying to sell those items and maybe getting a bit of money back, but also knowing it's a slow process. And that's very true. You can try to sell your items, and depending on the, you know, where you bought them from, they might have a good resale value, they might not. But I do think it's important to be realistic as to how much time you have to dedicate to this. And again, just like we said about the money, like the money is gone. And yes, you can try to get a little bit back. And I have tried to sell a few of my items. I have a separate video where I share my tips on selling your clutter and how I made over 1,400 pounds selling my clutter in the past. But yeah, I do think it's important to be realistic as to how much time you have to dedicate to this. And if it's maybe better to just let go of those items to protect your mental health rather than keeping them for maybe a few pounds that you might make here and there. And going along with this, people have said they worry about, you know, being sustainable and protecting our planet, obviously. I do think keeping clothes in your home once you've already bought them does nothing necessarily for the planet. Like, I do think it's best to try to sell them if you can, because then you know they're gonna end up with somebody that's going to use them, or take them to a charity shop where they can obviously sell them there or give them to somebody who needs them. But again, decluttering your clothes, I think is going to make a big shift in your mindset as to how you're purchasing things in the future. And I think the sustainability part of it happens at the time of purchase, right? So where we get our things, for me, I started buying a lot more on Vinted, like pre-loved items, and I think that's one of the best ways to shop, right, for our planet. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at, you know, being sustainable, but I do feel like my mindset has definitely shifted since I started decluttering. And someone else said they worry about ending up with nothing and having to buy all new clothes. And Decluttering your clothes and your wardrobe doesn't mean getting rid of all of your items, and it also doesn't mean getting rid of anything that you love and you actually wear. So you're not gonna end up with nothing. You're gonna end up with all the things that you actually wear, and I think that's a really amazing and liberating feel. So I'm gonna give you now the simple wardrobe experiment that you can try yourself to see how it feels. So in my wardrobe, I keep things that make me feel good, things that fit me right now, and things that are season appropriate. So anything that doesn't fit these three categories has to go. So either declutter, let it go, donate, or put it in storage depending on what it is, right? So if it's seasonal items or if it's things that don't fit me right now, those will go in storage. Off-season items, I keep them in a few baskets above my wardrobe, and then I have an underbed drawer that keeps some of the other items, things like some fancy shoes, fancy clothes, like for a party or whatever it might be, like for a wedding, because those I don't need in my daily wardrobe. I don't wear on a daily basis, but it's also not a lot. Like I don't have a million shoes. I think I have one pair of nude shoes and one pair of black like heeled shoes, and I also have in there those jeans that don't fit me yet postpartum, things like that. In this experiment, I also tried this myself. So I had those items right that were cute but I wasn't wearing, and I've been doing this method of wear it or give it away. So I have this item that's cute but I haven't worn. I'm gonna force myself to wear it, right? So this week I'm gonna wear this item. When I put it on, if I feel like, no, I actually don't want to wear it, right? It doesn't make me feel good for some reason, even though it's kind of cute, then that is a real good sign that you can let go of it. So if you've got items like that too, try this. Just put it on and wear it for the day. And if there's something that makes you feel like you actually don't want to wear this, it doesn't like vibe with you, then you are free to let it go, right? Because it doesn't make you feel good, there's no point in keeping it. And generally, when we look at an item and it's not a clear yes, I love this, it's maybe like maybe, or I don't know if I should keep this, then that's usually a sign that you can let it go. But I know it can be hard. I know it can be hard to do that for all of those items, because it can be a lot, right? It can be a lot of items that don't scream yes to you, that you don't actually love. So those items that you're unsure of, in this experiment, take a storage bin, box, whatever it might be for you, and make that a decide later bin. So in that bin, any of those maybe items that you're not sure of, you're not sure if you should let go of them, put them in there and store them away for now, right? You don't have to have this pressure of decluttering it right now, like getting rid of it if you're not ready for that. Put them in that decide later bin and see in a few months time how you feel. If you haven't missed them, if you can't even remember what's in there, which that has happened to me, then you are free to let it go, right? You don't have to keep any of that anymore. And so through this experiment of getting rid of anything that's off season, anything that doesn't fit you, anything that doesn't really feel good, or that's like a maybe but you're not sure, through this experiment you're gonna have in your wardrobe only the things that you love, that fit you, that make you feel good. So when you open your wardrobe in the morning, it's gonna feel like a breath of fresh air. It's gonna feel liberating. Anything's gonna be an option for you to wear that day, and it's just an amazing feeling. So I do think you should give this experiment a try, and you might just find that you don't miss any of those items that you put in your decide later bin. Yeah, I do hope this was helpful. Let me know how you're getting on with decluttering your clothes, and yeah, I hope to see you in my next video, and I hope you're having a lovely day. Bye guys.